leader and a firm believer in level 5 leadership. Currently serves as the executive vice president of HR for new business at JSW Group and $24 billion conglomerate. His stewardship spans across diverse sectors including JSW MG Motors, EV, Cooper, Defense, Realty, JSW1 and JSW Foundation, reflecting his multifaceted leadership. With over 30 years of rich experience across industries such as manufacturing, hospitality, retail and animation, he has exemplified excellence in every role he has undertaken. A graduate from Xavier Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, he began his career with Steel Authority of India Limited and was awarded the prestigious Jawahar Award in 2005 for his contributions to HR at Rourkela Steel Plant. His career trajectory includes senior HR roles at Adnani Power, JSW Steel and JSW Energy, where he pioneered transformative initiatives such as setting up shared services for the JSW Group. His profound contribution extends beyond his corporate responsibility. He has been honored with numerous accolades, including the HR Leadership Award, Indra Super Achievers Award, and the world's greatest CHRO 2016-17. As a thought leader, he regularly shares his insight at prominent forums and education institutions, demonstrating his commitment to fostering the next generation of leaders. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Vijay Sinha.
Thank you so much, esteemed panelists, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it's my privilege and honor to be here before the esteemed guests from all over the world and talking about building culture of peace through education and democracy. In fact, we all, studied a sloka of Hitopadesh, and I would like to start with that Vidya Dadati Binayam, Binayad Yati Patratam, Patratwadhan Mapnoti, Dhanad Dharma Tata Sukham. We learned these slokas in the school. That means education imparts, makes one humble, and humility begets worthiness. Worthiness creates wealth and enrichment, and from enrichment we become contented, we become happy. So how education has been the foundation of building a character, building a person, and that's what we are talking about. In fact, I've been enriching myself being here since yesterday, and we have been talking about multifaceted dimension of peace and how can culture of peace can be created through spirituality, yoga, through well-being, and now we are talking about the vast topic, as Dr. Pawansi mentioned just before, of democracy and education. When we talk about education and democracy, democracy generally is meant large number of people, and India has been practicing democracy since independence. Now I have learned democracy and the very simple definition but the very complex definition of democracy by Abraham Lincoln. We said democracy is for the people, of the people and by the people. Look at this one line and defines everything about democracy: for the people. It talks about each and every individual in the society, each and every individual in the villages, in the blocks, in the district and in the state, and that aggregation comes at the nation. And we talk about democracy is for the people, that whatever government is creating a rules and policy is for everyone, taking everybody, and talks about inclusivity. By the people, participation of each and every member of the society, and then, for the people, of the people and by the people, of the people, getting everybody together and then creating a government. Now, this is what we have been trying to talk about and create a fundamental difference, by educating people from the, grassroots level. And I'll talk about one example which I experienced during COVID time and how, blending democracy and education, we have been able to dispel misconception, myth, fear from the society and, overcome, one of the biggest disturbances ever in the history of mankind. So what happened? Let me give you a brief description about the place where I was heading HR, and it had about 50,000 employees working in the factory. And every day close to 30 to 35,000 people taking off a side used to enter the factory. And when the COVID came, there was a big disturbance, big fear, and the families staying in the society started approaching us and mainly HR that what will happen, because nobody knew that what is the remedy and how to take care of oneself and how to respond to this kind of situation. There was a necessity to run the plant because we wanted people to come, because we had to maintain safety, we have to maintain the thermal regime, and overall we have to produce oxygen for for supplying to hospitals and meeting the need and requirement. When it happened, people stopped coming on their own. There was no notification, no circular, but people stopped out of fear, stopped coming, and there was a big ruckus, and we did not know how to handle it. And then we said that nobody is believing anybody. Nobody, we had limited number of doctors whom we deployed to talk to people, but people were not believing because it was widespread that there is no remedy and nobody knew how to respond to it. Then we created different groups, and this is where we started democratizing, without knowing the word democracy. And later on I was trying to relate to democracy, that how this helped us in the future. So when we made different groups of 30,000 people who were available there, and we made hundreds of groups for different shops, different shifts, different villages, different age groups. So when we made different shifts and different groups, and we tell them that how they have to respond to the situation and why it's important for everybody to come to the plant, and how they have to go back and convince the society, and what are the measures we are taking inside the plant and outside the plant to take care of the health of the people within the available resources. We immediately got a lot of suggestions from people. Hundreds of suggestions came out of whatever knowledge they had, because of a lot of Google and WhatsApp. A lot of people had different ideas, and we could collate all of that by making different groups, and we started acting upon it. One suggestion that came, that let's create multiple help desks, that if there is a requirement, how should organization respond to those requirements. And then we created 24/7 at least 20 help desks inside different townships, different villages and the plant, and people started calling, and each help desk was supported by some or other doctors, and they were giving them information that how to deal with the situation. Then there was a lot of resistance from the villagers who were not allowing movement of the trucks, because they felt that trucks are coming from outside, and along with the truck drivers there are viruses coming, and there is a possibility that this will spread, the virus will spread across the villages and the COVID will spread. So they were stopping trucks outside the boundary of the villages. Then I personally went to all the villages, and we had the meeting of the office bearers, and we started telling them that how it's important to run the plant, to generate oxygen, to produce oxygen. And we met all of them, and then from resisting the truck, they said that if you want any truck driver from us, we will come and operate the truck, and we will not let supply of oxygen stop. This is how education created awareness among the villagers and the employees, and then we started running the plant 24/7 with the support, with a lot of challenges outside, with people getting infected. But we started running the plant, and we started supplying oxygen across the country, and we became the largest supplier of oxygen free of cost across the country to save the lives. And people from the villages, because we educated them, had we not created a connect, had we not communicated to them, probably this would not have happened and we would have lost a lot of lives. But because of that education, we created a kind of awareness in the society, and those people came forward and then they started, supporting us, because of which we became very, very fearless. So ladies and gentlemen, my learning from this has been that any kind of such, such problem in the society can be tackled with involvement of people, with creating awareness, with education, and that is where I feel that democracy comes into place, because everybody feels that they are part of it, they are part of the solution, they are we create inclusive society. So I feel that education fosters, a kind of understanding which helps creating a culture of peace. And that culture of peace is permanent, because you are doing the foundational change. That is a fundamental change that we are creating. Peace is not absence of war. Peace is not temporary absence of war, that between the two war, if there is a lull, that is peace. That is negative connotation of peace. Peace is negation of war. There is no war at all. And that can happen only when the grassroots level, the individual level, we all are educated how to handle conflicts. And once we are educated how to handle conflicts, probably we can find a peaceful solution of, all the conflict resolution. And one example I remember, when there was genocide in Rwanda in 1994, how the government tackled this, different divides between the ethnic groups by creating a peace education. They created peace education in the curriculum, and they were able to, create unified society and, dispel misconception, because I remember that was the worst genocide ever in the history of world, when more than 800,000 people were, butchered. And that, government could come out of that kind of, situation by introducing thereafter, peace education in their national curriculum, which integrated the society and did a fundamental change. And thereafter, there has not been any ethnic crisis in Rwanda to that extent. So with this, I end my, I conclude my speech, and I would really thank the organizer for creating this, theme. And it's now up to us that how we go back to the society and educate people, and we try to create culture of peace in wherever society will live. I think that's going to spread, and one day we'll see that the world has moved towards Esperanto, where the world is together, and all of us, which we are trying to achieve, because the peace, we are in the pursuit of peace. Peace is a journey. Peace is not an outcome. I think in the pursuit of peace, how each one of us can contribute, and our mission and goal can be achieved worldwide. So thank you so much, and wish that culture of peace pervades across our society and the globe. Thank you. Thank you so much.